we're at the part, we're getting closer to the part of the night where this is our new segment we want to introduce to the show. Trying to score. We're a couple drinks in. Let's see if we can score here on Happy Hour. A live, organic, same-game parlay build for Ravens Titans. It's the game going down in London. It's the first game it's going to be on your slate after, of course, Denver and Kansas City. You're waking up Sunday morning. We're going to get ahead of the curve and get on this now. A live same-game parlay build. Gilles, I will let you go first.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with one that Nick and I talked about off air. We're going to look at Ryan Tannehill for an interception. Right now it's about minus 115, maybe minus 120, but the Titans, they're playing a top run defense in the NFL, and Derrick Henry is averaging the yards per carry like career low. So I don't think the Titans are going to be able to run the ball very well, which means that he's going to have to throw way more, and that's going to be easy pickings for Baltimore. Also, another thing too, Ryan Tannehill, another one who is progressing where he is having a higher pass attempts per game, but his completion percentage is actually the lowest as a Titans starter. And then you have the Ravens pass rush. They're top 5 in pressure rates, second in total sacks. Anyway, I don't want to bore you guys. Ryan Tannehill needs to be one of the legs on this same game parlay.
Nick Giffen, why don't you go next? Guests always go first. That's the polite thing to do.
Well, I just wanted to chime in on Gilles' Ryan Tannehill prop here because, I've got for him about minus 120, minus 125 as fair odds against an average NFL defense to throw an interception. But again, he's going against the Ravens, who have the 6th highest defensive bad balls forced rate in the NFL this year. So I'm actually projecting Tannehill for, closer to like 0.8, 0.85 interception, something like that, which would equate to around minus 130, minus 145 in that neighborhood, just depending on, a little bit of stuff here and there. So definitely like Gilles' pick there, but I think this is Gilles' same game parlay that we're building out here. So Gilles, is that the first one, or are we going somewhere else?
I like that leg, Nick, but I think Zay Flowers from a touchdown scorer perspective would be the other one that I would look at from the Ravens.
He's owed one. He's owed one.
Well, and I mean, you're getting a wide receiver who's playing 90% of snaps. He's got 10 plus targets in 3 of 5 games. Beckham, I saw a limited practice today. He did fly over, so he might play. But if he doesn't, I don't think that's much of a matter. And Bateman has been a dud for me in this spot. So I think Zay Flowers, he's around plus 210 right now for an anytime touchdown. I think that would be a solid leg for the same game parlay.
Well, Nick, I'm glad. This is Gilles' show, and I wanted to have you weigh in on his analysis of Tannehill. Bad ball Tannehill in London is what we're eyeing here. So you got Flowers, you got Tannehill, you got a third leg for us, Gilles?
This one's gross. I don't know if you're gonna like it.
Oh, this matchup in and of itself is pretty gross. I don't know how much worse.
I know, but this one is like super gross. It's a super gross leg. 2-point conversion, successful 2-point conversion.
Oh, God.
With a team that has Justin Tucker on it, who's like automatic from kicking, and with 2 teams that just don't really do 2-point conversion attempts very often. I think that this game is going to be an oddball type of score, and I want to get crazy. And I think if you put Zay Flowers for a touchdown with a 2-point convert and a Ryan Tannehill interception, that's the one I would want to do for a London game.
Oh, I love that.
You could parlay all 3 at Bet365. It works out to be about 20-1.
You know what I could see, Tim? John Harbaugh going for the win at the end of the game on a 2-point try. You see how many times we see that scenario? Harbaugh is one of those guys that would go for the win at the end. I think Vrabel too, actually, more I think about it.
Well, and to be fair, the reason why we're getting these odds is because these teams generally don't really go for 2 very often, especially if you look since the start of last year. I don't think they have a 2-point convert this year. And last year, I think they were one of the 2 of the lower teams. But the one thing I guess that is encouraging is that when they do go for 2, they both were 100% last year. So I think that would be the one thing, the takeaway. That's the fire you play with when you throw that leg.
I'm pulling it up right now. Last year, the Titans were 29th in 2-point conversion attempt rate. So the number of times they attempted a 2-point conversion versus the number of times they scored a touchdown. So in that case, you're probably going to want to go with the lean on the Ravens side there, as we mentioned, the Harbaugh angle. But even then, they were 22nd and 2-point conversion attempt rate. Both still bottom half this year. I don't even think the Titans have attempted one yet this year.
No, not yet. And again, that's why I said if I had to bring up a third leg on this, we're just going to get dirtier and dirtier. The dirtier martini as it goes down to the bottom of the bottle.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Wow.
I love it. All the more reason about it. Love that. Thank you,
Tim. Like, I know you're gonna get Nick here, and then we'll get out. We'll let, but like, if one of these teams goes for 2 on Sunday morning, I'm gonna be yelling at the TV, like before it even whether it goes or not. But the happy hour might have to start a little earlier that day if it does end up happening. So anyway, good stuff.